What's up, Duderinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts podcast, a show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your player one, Brando, and joining me here today is the new and improved player two, Mike.
Yes, I am.
You are back and you're feeling 100%?
I'm back in the saddle again.
We are back in the saddle again as well, my friends. Thank you guys for joining us this week as we are going to be going through some of the subscription services from the current generation of PS4 and the Xbox One, PS Now, and the Xbox GamePass. We're going to compare the both. We're going to look at them and say, hey, which one should you get? Here's the price points, here are the games, and here's the pros and cons of each. We're going to be talking about that, and then we're going to be talking about Brando falling down a slippery slope of his gaming past. And, of course, we're going to be throwing in some headlines here and there. But first and foremost, I got to get this out of the way because this is the most off-topic thing of today. Okay. And I mean, we tend to tangent sometimes, but yes. I thought about this today. So I had a doctor's appointment today, and I couldn't take the interstate. They were doing work. I don't know what exits are open, which are not. I didn't want to leave and then not be able to exit and have to find my way.
Well, here's the thing: you live in Indiana. So you should be used to this by now.
But I mean, when you're talking about the interstate and them, they shut down certain exits because they're working on bridges and they're working on overpass, all that stuff right now. So I had to find a different way to get to my doctor. I found one, and it was a nice, good ride for the majority of it. In fact, it was nice and calming and whatnot. But there's one thing that I am not good at, and I thought about this, and this is the real life version of first person shooters for me, competitively, like Call of Duty Online. Those are the kind of games that if you're in there and you're playing them and you know what you're doing, you're leveled up, you're gonna make quick work of me.
Right.
I'm gonna go in there going yay, and then I'm just gonna get killed every time I spawn in, and that's roundabouts. I don't do well with roundabouts because I don't drive roundabouts enough.
Yeah,
I live in rural Indiana almost. I live in a town, but there's nothing special about the town I live in. We're not big enough to have roundabouts. Lafayette here has a few roundabouts that they put in.
Yes,
some easy ones.
Right. When
you get closer to Indy, I don't know what I'm doing. Twice. I turned off on the wrong way and instantly realized it, but it's too late. And literally one time I took the wrong roundabout and quit. Oh, crap, I need to turn around. I'm looking at my Google map. The next place for me to turn around is another roundabout. I had to go down to that other roundabout, go all the way around it, come back and take the right way around that roundabout. I absolutely hate roundabouts. And, of course, everybody else is all looking at me like, what are you doing, you idiot? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Man, I feel like such a noob, but it comes to roundabouts.
Well, I mean, granted, what you drive every single day has no roundabouts.
No.
It's technically almost a straight shot.
A, B.
Yeah.
Occasionally, A, B, C. On the way home, I stop at a grocery store or a disc replay.
Right.
Or here.
Yeah.
No, it's very easy.
And I'm barely off of your beaten path.
Dude, you barely even get to B.
Yeah.
You wake up, you hit your point A.
I don't have a B.
Dude, you're 5 minutes away from where we work.
Yeah.
So,
but we drive around town here a lot, so we go around all the roundabouts, and we do Indy a lot. And there are some. So when we go to Fry's, there's 4. And we come off the interstate. I mean, technically there's none, but if we go anywhere else from Fry's, there's 3 or 4 roundabouts that we have to go around to get to Barnes & Noble's from there, or go to one of the places that we eat breakfast at and stuff like that when we go there. So it's quite confusing. And as you said, you have a roundabout that leads to another roundabout that leads to another roundabout that leads to another roundabout. And they don't have, it's not like the exit is a 45-degree angle. So it's not like a perfect pie sliced in quarters. It's sometimes you hit it and then it's immediately you get off and then there's the quarter and then there's a fifth and then there's a seventh and you're like, I don't know where to turn. But then those roads are actually turned into quarters. It's just the way they made the roundabout. It's got like a little horseshoe bend in it. So you come off of it and then you go around and then you make another like half roundabout to start going in the direction that you want to go. And another thing with Indiana that I hate is medians. We're obsessed with these goddamn medians. I want to turn left going down the highway, and I have to go in, pull into a grocery store, turn around, and then cross all 4 lanes of traffic just to get across because we got a fucking median there. That makes me mad. 52 is horrible about that because there's nowhere. I mean, they're fixing it now on 52, but if you wanted to get in some of these places, you couldn't go anywhere.
Well, because you would have to go all the way down.
All the way down, and then U-turn.
Yeah, U-turn and come back
And then
around.
almost everything has no U-turn here. It's like, so what the hell you want me to do? Like, where am I supposed to go? That's Indiana for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to get that right off the bat because I'm like, if it was the most recent thing that happened to me. And, of course, later on in this episode, we're going to be looking at PS Now versus Xbox Game Pass. But we normally start with pickups. You said you have a pickup arriving in the mail.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I do? Where?
Yeah, where?
See it.
Okay, because...
Octopath Traveler.
On the Nintendo Switch, Octopath Traveler. Hopefully, cross your fingers, you order that via Amazon.
I did order that via Amazon.
Maybe it might come tomorrow.
God, I hope so.
Because when I pre-ordered...
I've never gotten the day before, ever.
When I pre-ordered Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS, I got it the day before. In fact, I think I might have got it a day or two before. I was giddy.
Do you get a UPS guy that delivers? Is that who delivers most of your Amazon stuff?
Yeah.
We do not. Ours is by the USPS. So we have everything delivered by the mail. So it does not come until 5 o'clock almost every single time.
Okay.
And it usually is the day of.
Okay, yeah. I'm really excited to hear what you got to say about Octopath Traveler.
So apparently there is more to the demo that I have yet to play. But that's okay.
At this point, you might as well wait.
I'm going to wait. But I loved what I played before. I mean, I played enough that I essentially beat both of the intros for 2 characters and then went and picked up the other character and leveled them up to match that character so that I had a team, a good team, and took on some of the... There wasn't anything hard. Excuse me for a second.
So while you are fixed, while the surgery fixed some things, you still have allergies like a mofo.
That's what I've always had, really bad allergy. Well,
are you allergic to your animals?
I don't think so. I'm allergic. When I go outside, it's worse.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pollen.
I've had like slight allergies my entire life, but ever since I had the problem with the tooth, and then obviously the sinus rupture that was seeping into the mouth, that exponentially made it worse. So now it's better, but now I know there's a difference between allergy and
what you were
infection.
What were you dealing with?
So, yeah, it's still pretty bad. I sneeze still constantly. It's just the time of the year that's horrible. I mean, really, everybody says spring and autumn are the worst time. No, mine is pretty much from May until November, until it gets cold, and I'm miserable. And in the wintertime, I'm like, yay.
So I have a pickup.
You have a pickup. What did you pick up?
Come here. Smack my hand.
Smack your hand.
Smack my hand.
What did you buy? What did you buy?
Smack it.
Is it gotta be loud enough that everybody can hear it?
Yeah.
Well, come over here. Go to the mic. Go to the mic. That was a good one. Oh, if I don't hit the mic, it's like lean back into my chair.
Don't hit the mic, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
All right, so
Okay, I smacked you.
PlayStation's doing their midsummer sale. Just like, we went to GameStop earlier.
Yeah.
They're having a sale. So like pretty much everywhere. Best Buy, GameStop.
This is a sales time.
Yeah, it's around 4th of July. It's around a big holiday. Summertime, kids are out of school.
Yep.
Do a sale.
Sale.
So PlayStation's having a sale.
You're smacking the lips. What did you get?
So I bought the new WWE game.
Yeah, I knew you would.
So, and not the new one. I guess the one that came out in October last year, right? So the other day, I'm just kind of getting the itch to want to play, so I put in the one I have, 2K17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I go to get on the servers for community creation. Servers are down. They shut their servers down at the end of May.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, really? So I can't even go in and update some things to kind of make it more up to date to stuff that I want to do. I'm like, well, son of a bitch. And I'm like, well, I guess they just announced the new one, 2K19 for this year. Right? And one reason why I didn't go in on the 2K18 off the get-go is that there wasn't enough new about it. Like there are some things that are new about it. There's a whole new graphics engine, so like the game looks more prettier than last year.
More prettier, yeah.
More prettier. I mean, it's not going to knock your rocks off. This isn't Metal Gear. This isn't anything that's like really well like engine design, but they do look better. And what I will say is that there's little things. And when you're going for more of a sim wrestling game,
right?
It's those little touches and like really like bring me into it.
Right.
Like the dude gets knocked down, and your health, and because you have a health meter, and then you have a stamina meter.
Right.
And when you're taking enough damage, and you have a little like body tells you where your damage is.
Yeah.
When you have enough like low stamina, or you're down to your last, because you have 3 bars of stamina, and once you get down to or maybe there's only 2, because there's a blue. No, there's a blue, a darker blue, and then kind of a purple. But when you're down to that purple, it'll refill and only refill that once. It won't go to the other ones.
Right.
But when your dude will be on the ground and he won't be able to get up right away, he'll start crawling.
Right.
But if you reach the ropes, he actually brings himself up and leans on the ropes, and then tries to pull himself up. Or if you're crawling, he'll go into the corner and he'll rest in the corner. I'm like, that is awesome. And okay, so why did I buy it? Number one is because I had the itch to play. Okay, and also this is digital. It's a digital game.
Right.
So think about how many pure digital games I've actually bought in my lifetime.
That's true. It's very true.
Very, very rare.
Or you buy digital that you already have physical of, like
Sure.
FF7.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
like
right.
that.
But then, and even that, it's like for the PS4 version, I paid $7.
Right, and
That's
9, FF9. I mean,
9, I actually paid full price because I got that right after it came out. But I love 9. I'm willing to pay that.
I got all mine during the 50% off sale. I got 7, 8, 9.
Great, yeah.
And I got Legend of Dragoon.
Yes. Okay. So they're having the sale for the digital deluxe. It was $30. That included access to the season pass.
Well, that's not bad.
So the season pass itself is $30.
Right.
And the game was $20. So you can buy the base game for $20, or go into GameStop. Right now it's on sale for $30.
Right.
But that's just the game. But the digital deluxe, cow.
Yeah,
it worked.
it worked.
He's about to sneeze. So for digital deluxe, for $30, $31, I got the game and everything that was their expansion, all their extra dudes, their extra packs, the extra moves that they added in, like they do every year. They have a full thing that they do with the season pass. Your whole pre-order character, Kurt Angle last year, he's in there. Then they did a whole Cena pack where it was like, here are a couple of his best feuds, and you get him from the 06 and 2010, along with RVD and Batista from then, and then you get a couple other dudes, and then you get some newer NXT guys, and you get some of that. $30. So I went ahead and I bought it Because here's my thinking. I paid $30 now, where I could have actually bought the slightly better version of this one in October. I paid $60 and paid another $30 for the season pass for that. And so instead of paying $90 in October to get the whole brand new and all this stuff where I got to wait, we got the pre-order bonus, and then you got your first pack coming out in November, and then your next pack coming out in December, and your last pack coming out in January or February. Instead, I just bought this. This will keep me happy because I'm a creative guy. I'm a dude who likes to go in there and tinker. I like to play with the newer guys. I like to go in there and I like to, okay, this is fun. But most of all, I like to go into the universe, make my arenas, make my shows. Like the thing that I was doing on like the last year's version. Yeah. I created this alternate universe where like WWF went out of business in 1992 due to the steroid trial, and WCW absorbed it. So now you have people from there coming over to here, and now there's a mix and match of rosters, and then you have like two shows so I'm thinking of like 1992, and I'm putting all this stuff together, and I'm making my own kind of feuds and my own thing, and using this guy here and this guy there, and going forward. So and this game has almost all of the people who were legends from that year in this one. A few people are missing, but right. I can almost just come here and just continue that. And then I went on the downloads, and people have already made some arenas. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. The ones I don't like that have a good base, I'll go in there and I'll tweak them to where I want them.
Right.
And then, yes, I went back into the damn wormhole.
You did.
But I didn't do it at launch. I did it halfway through the year, and I saved $90.
Well, so. I can't say a whole lot. I mean, I keep diving into the first-person shooter online games.
We're all going to like what we like, okay? So here's the thing. I've been into wrestling games since Super Nintendo. Yeah. I remember playing WWF Raw with my dad. And my dad was horrible at it, but I got tired of beating up the computer. I remember playing that. I remember the N64. That was like the heyday for wrestling games.
Yes.
Especially with your friends. You had this, you had the 4 players, if you had that many friends. But then you had like these 4 games made by the same developers, 2 for WCW and 2 for WWF. And they were all good, but No Mercy was the last one that was made. And that's where, of course, each generation, they make this better, they make that better. They do this, do that. Roster is this roster this year is a little bit better than last year. It's almost like the Madden thing in a way.
Right.
But then, that game is still regarded to this day by hardcore wrestling game fans to be the best wrestling game ever made.
Really?
Yeah, No Mercy, all the way back in 2000.
Huh.
And that game is still supported on PC hacks, where they've actually modded the game to include newer stuff.
Wow.
It's crazy. But there's a diehard community for No Mercy. And then, of course, the games continued on. And when I went to PS2, I owned all of them until... So I owned one for PlayStation, like the SmackDown series. Okay, so going to PlayStation, you went to the SmackDown series, which is more of an arcade base.
Right.
This is what this series is a product of. It's almost like it's a legacy successor, or what's the right word, term that I'm thinking of here. It's almost like it's a spiritual successor.
I'm gonna say
it's like if you played the game that I just bought and said this was in the same style, it's not in the same style because they've gotten more simulation based.
Right.
Over the years, they stripped back the arcade features, and it's more sim, and to the point where they really try to immerse you into the feeling of you're watching and participating in the product.
Huh.
And now they have, and this year they had this feature in the year before, but they've kind of changed it. It's called My Player, where you create your own dude,
right? And
you start at the performance center.
Huh.
That they've created down in Orlando, where they actually have this whole training center with rings in it, and you can go in. Like, people off the street just can't go in and try out. They do have tryout days a couple times a year,
huh.
But like a lot of that is like athletes, college ball players. Somebody from Lafayette went down there just not like a year ago and tried out. He's he was a former ball player, and now he does like this parkour stuff. So he went down there and tried out. I don't know how far he got, but there's actually somebody who is on the main roster of the company now, who she's from Indiana.
Really?
Her name's Ruby Riot.
Really?
Yeah, and she's billed from Lafayette, Indiana. I don't think she's from here. I think she's from around the area, but I think this is the town that because a lot of times when they have billed from here, ladies and gentlemen from Chicago, Illinois, and they're really from like Joliet,
right?
Or they're from Danville, but they're like going to say, well, a lot more people know this, but I can see we're going to bill you from Lafayette because you're around that area, and that's a college town,
right?
So yeah, but she wrestled around here and like local statewide, and then got a tryout down there. Went through the performance center, trained, went through the NXT program, which is their little developmental territory. They have their own show and they have their own pay-per-views on the network,
right?
Where they have their own specials, and you do good there. Eventually, you'll get called up to the main roster, and she's on the main roster right now. But I
have to look her up.
She's definitely alternative. She has like half her head shaved, and she's got like piercings and tattoos.
I don't think I'm going to be wrestling with.
I can't remember. I saw a video recently where they did like this. They were interviewing some of the wrestlers, and they were talking about piercings, and I think she said she had a lip ring and it almost got ripped out.
You said, what's her name?
Ruby. That's Ruby.
Yeah.
Riot. Riott. They had to do 2 T's due to copyright. A lot of times you'll see that. Like there was an old wrestler named Taz. And in WWF they had to call him Taz with 2 Z's.
Right. Just
out of, copyright concern over Warner Brothers for Tasmanian Devil. But while you're doing that, yeah, I've just been a long time fan of wrestling games. I do enjoy them. I enjoy having fun with them. It's not something anymore that I put hours upon hours upon hours into like I used to when I was a kid. But it's something I will pull out 2 or 3 times a year. And for like a couple weeks and sink my teeth into it and have fun. And then I'll move on and play something else. But this is, I've been streaming a lot over on twitch.tv/GameAddictsPlay. I've been playing The Last of Us and some Final Fantasy VII. And I thought that if I'm going to be gaming when I'm not streaming, I want something that's going to be just pure relaxing, chill out, sit there and play for a little bit. And, I'm like, I don't play that wrestling game. And when 2K17 had been shut down as far as the servers go, couldn't update anything. Pretty much what I had on there is what I was going to be able to do. I did that for a little bit, and then I was like looking into the next one, and then I started looking into the most recent one. Right. And I saw it was on sale for $30. And I did my research before I clicked that buy button to make sure I got the season pass. And for $30 I got everything. So if that's something you guys are like, look at their midsummer sale, please. Everywhere.
It's a good sale.
I think I left the pamphlet in the car from GameStop that the dude gave us, but there's plenty of games in there for up to 50% off.
Right.
Now's a great time to go in and pick up some games, especially if you're still in school, still high school, middle school, or even college. Taking a break from your studies, and
how much was Destiny?
$10.
$10.
Destiny 2, $10. Of course, that does not include all of the DLC.
Right.
But that, however, all right. So, I said on the last episode I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't really get a chance to because we had our guest on, our friend Jason Brett from the UK.
Yes.
Podcast of Stone was here, and not here, over the Skypes, but we had him on and we had a great time talking to him. But I didn't get a chance to talk about my exploration with PS Now. Now,
yes.
Earlier on in the summer, I got my trial of Xbox Game Pass and tried it out. got to play State of Decay 2. I got to play. That might have been the only thing that I played. I downloaded Gears of War 4, but I never got to it because your trial is only for like a week.
Right.
And I was getting ready for streaming. I was, I think I started Last of Us around that time, and I played State of Decay a couple times, but I got to try it, and I saw that I could do a trial for PS Now, and I did, and I played it, and it works. They say that streaming is the future, and the future is not quite now, but we're getting there. And I will say this, it works. 100% it works. Does it work in 4K? No. Does it work in even full 1080p with 60 frames? No. But it works. I played a couple different games. I played Red Dead Redemption on there. I played NBA 2K18 and sucked completely. No, I'm sorry, 2K16.
Right.
NBA 2K16 and sucked. I played what else did I? Oh, Saints Row 4. Tried that out on there. Of course, that's very much of an action game, so I wanted to see how that played. And then, are you ready for this one, Mike?
I'm ready. Go.
I played Farming Simulator 15.
Yep. That game, I don't understand it,
buddy. I grew up on a farm, pseudo farm. Okay, because we didn't have animals. It was just in the fields. By the time I came around, they had long gotten rid of their animals, and had just gone and they just do their crops. But the whole spending time out in the fields, and the tractors and the combines, I did that, man. I grew up in that environment. So getting to go into Farming Simulator and do some of that stuff, there's a certain at-homeness for me with that.
Right.
It's funny though, because it's like the world is in such need of farmers that we have like games now for people who don't want to be actual farmers, but they want to still play because the game is intricate, because you start off with a loan from the bank and you have to pay that loan back, but you have to harvest your crops, and you have to bring in enough to transfer that into funds. You have to hire help, which was funny, because when I hired help, it just booted me out of the combine, and then the computer took control of the combine. So it's like an AI bot running around, like I said, Alexa, harvest this wheat, and they went and did it.
You can only do that in Skyrim.
Skyrim Alexa edition.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, I tried that out, and it worked. As I said, every single game worked. There were a few titles that told me we're having problems loading this game right now.
Well, at least they told you.
So it was like server issues or something. It was like, hey, you're having issues with this. Because I tried to get into Saints Row 4 the night before I played it, and I ended up playing Red Dead instead. And then the next morning I got it. Yeah, Saints Row works. Of course, your save is saved onto the cloud, so you don't take up any space on your actual hard drive for anything.
Right.
But it works. Now, what I will tell you to do, because we're about ready to transfer you go into the pluses and minuses of both. Okay. But I will tell you this. For both of them, remember to cancel your subscription. Because I accidentally ended up subscribing to PS Now for a month. Because it has automatically auto-renew on.
Yes, almost everything nowadays does.
And I thought I got it on Monday. Turns out I got it on Sunday night. Oops.
Whoopsie.
So Sunday night, I'm making dinner. I'm making some awesome ass steaks. Man, this is gonna be a great dinner. I get a little email. Funds have been added to your wallet, and I was having a few issues with the whole WWE game.
Right.
Because I went to go purchase it, and there was an error.
Right.
So I was making doubly sure that it didn't charge me before I went to try and buy it again. Then when I did buy it, I had to buy it from my phone. And then it was registering that I did not own all the DLC. It was saying that I had to pay for it still.
Right.
But when I got in there, then it showed up as free. because on the front page it said $10, and then I actually clicked on it, went in, and then it showed $10, and then it went whoop, download. So I'm like, okay, so this is good now. Cool, I got it downloading. Then around 5:30, I got a funds added. So I'm losing my mind thinking that they charged me for that DLC. No, they charged me for PlayStation Now. So $20 for 1 month, PlayStation Now.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So before we get into the pros and cons, I'd like to bring up the teeny elephant in the room. So there's some IGN released 6 Switch games that could launch with Nintendo Switch Online.
I saw the article, but I didn't click on it.
So I clicked on it. So we're going to run through these because there's only 6 games, so it's, no big thing.
Yeah.
So this year at TennoCon, I hope I said that right.
Never heard of it.
There was some announcement of Warframe for the Switch.
And actually that got announced, yeah.
So they're thinking that when the Nintendo whatever
Network,
online service is coming up, Warframe will be one of the ones that comes along with it, which makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then the next one is the one that we want.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Maker.
Absolutely.
You have to.
It makes no sense not to do it. You have the touchscreen on the Switch already. Okay. If you have a version for the 3DS, you can easily do a version for the Switch.
Easily.
This game, quite literally, was one of the few ray of sunshines on the Wii U.
That game is phenomenal.
That game came out, and it got people talking. And while we didn't have tremendous amounts of sales on the Wii U, as far as hardware sales,
right.
System sold, you cannot tell me that game did not sell a few. People bought it. And if Nintendo had got their heads out of their asses about their people streaming the game or people putting their gameplay on YouTube,
God.
If they were like, yeah, go ahead, do it, that game would have became the next Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
like what Fortnite is now, as far as everybody's playing it, everybody doing it. If nobody had to risk losing their channels, their livelihood for some people that do that for a living. If people didn't have to risk that, people would be playing the crap out of Mario Maker. And people would be like, oh, look at this level, look at this one, look at this one. And it would have blown the fuck up. And Nintendo shot themselves in the foot with that decision to be that way about it. Not only that, but then of course it's tied to the Wii U. So then you have to have people going, am I going to buy this system for one game? And if everyone's playing it, people will.
Right.
If everybody and their brother is streaming and playing that game, you're going to entice people to buy your system.
Yes.
Even if that's the only thing that they play. Because then then there was Mario Kart 8. I might actually play that. Because you got other stuff on there that people might want to play but don't want to buy the system for.
Which, in my opinion, Mario Kart 8 is the greatest Mario Kart that's ever been made.
It's up there for me. Yes, absolutely.
Especially the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah,
if you have a Switch and you don't have that game, shame on you.
Yeah, no, you need to get it.
You need to, if you even remotely love any type, that shame on you.
Dude, that game is awesome.
It's amazing.
It was awesome on the Wii U, but it's even more awesome on the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but go forward.
So the next one. So the heavily rumored Star Fox Grand Prix. That's, despite no announcement or official appraisal of the franchise, Ubisoft revealed during their E3 conference that Star Fox will be a playable character for the Switch version of its new game. Anyways, so yeah, that's one quote-unquote rumor one. Another one, which makes sense, Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea, but it's kind of like Sims Universe or whatever you want to call it. Another one, Steep.
Yeah, that
snowboarding game.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which kind of figured, FIFA 19.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, just before we went into, and Nintendo's is $20. So
right.
I want to stress this to anyone that owns a Switch. If they give you Super Mario Maker for free with that online, you're stupid not to buy it.
I don't think it'll be for free, but
Well,
I don't think it'll be free.
Well, then at least get the. I would if that title
Warframe
comes out.
Warframe's gonna be free because it's free.
Warframe's free.
Yeah, because it's free for everything else.
But I'm just saying, depending on how they do this, I really hope they don't make it download only because the Switch is only packing 128 at max, unless you really want to spend the $300-400 for a SD card that's that big.
Yeah.
So most of us budget gamers or normal gamers are only going to spend, the 60 to $90 for a good 128.
Yeah. Maybe 250.
Maybe for that. So none of us are going to spend that kind of money for one of those giant ass cards. So you're talking, I don't know how big the game is. Let's just ballpark it at 20. I assume it's not that big. 18 gigs. If you got LA Noire on there, you're screwed.
Yeah. That game's massive.
Huge. But I'm just saying, if they do that on the Switch, which makes complete sense, to put Super Mario Maker on there, that game will explode.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I mean, it exploded on the Wii.
It'll have another renaissance,
Wii U.
like with the Switch, because you have a lot more. You have you have double the player base
already.
Yeah, so absolutely, go for it.
But it just is something I wanted to throw in there of if you like the Warframe and you've got a Switch, now you can play it on the go.
Sure. Now, I will stress that for PS Now and Xbox Game Pass, you do not need Live or Plus for either of these.
Right.
For those that have online components, I don't even know how well that works. I didn't get a chance to test that out because I'm not an online player. But I've got a month of PS Now, so maybe if I've got one that has online access. So, of course, as I said, PlayStation Now costs $20 per month. And right now, if you're a first-time subscriber, you can actually get the first month for $10. And they're offering a 1-year subscription at $100. So some discount there. With Xbox Game Pass, it is $9.99 a month. And I don't know if there is a discount multi-month version yet.
So do you have all of the lists for each one up?
Yes.
From IGN?
I have the list of PS Now games and the list of Xbox Game Pass. And I'm going to go through here, and I know we've done this before on some other episodes, but I wanted to try to quickly go through here. I'm not going to name every game on here, guys.
Pick one that you're doing now, and I'll grab the other one.
Okay, so I am doing PS Now. So you go ahead and get Xbox Game Pass games up. So there are over 200 games as of July 17. So last year, there are over 500 games available on PlayStation Now. How many there are right now, it doesn't say. But what you're going to get through PS4, PS3, and PS2, because they're running some of those on emulation. So first off, these are all in alphabetical order. I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to start Alone in the Dark, Inferno, Altered Beast, Alex Kidd, and Miracle World. Alien Nation, that was also from the people who made Dead Nation, if I do believe. So, okay, so and then you have Ape Escape 2, if you remember those old games.
So to cut in here, because I wasn't ready. I'm ready now. So Xbox Game Pass currently has 206 games available.
Yeah.
123 of them on Xbox One, 32 of them of Xbox 360, and 56 from Xbox Live Arcade.
And then
and one from the original Xbox.
Yeah. And they're still adding, to both of these. Continuing on, Ark the Lad, that's an old tactics or RPG series. Atari Flashbacks Classics 1 and 2.
So definitely looking at my list so far, my top 20 are pretty damn good games.
I haven't even gotten in here yet. So, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Origins.
Which is not on my list.
Those are the 3 games that preceded Arkham Knight, which is on the PS4. So
stop when you hit C.
Okay. So, again, BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite.
Yep, that's on here.
Okay. And then we have Blood Rain Betrayal.
Nope.
Bolt, that old Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Or is Bolt isn't Disney, is it? Is that Disney?
Pixar?
That Bolt's not a Pixar movie, is it?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
It's an animated movie,
It's
though.
an animated movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Borderlands 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Bound by Flame. Brave, Disney. Brink by Bethesda, first-person shooter. Broken Age, that's by the Double Fine guys. It's like the kind of like the adventure game. Brothers, Tale of Two Sons.
It's on here as well.
And then I'm Now at Sea.
Okay, so starting off, Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
360.
Yep, Banjo Kazooie. That's actually they're calling it Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Banjo Tooie.
Yeah.
And then you've got Bayonetta,
Yeah.
BioShock. That's all three.
Yep.
And then Bomber Crew. I'm not big on that, but this also has Bound by Flames and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. That ends my B, and then I'll go through C. They have the Capcom arcade cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Castle Storm, Comic Zone.
Yeah.
That's a great one right there. And they have Dark Void, Dark Siders, War Mastered Edition for the Xbox One added December.
Okay, stop when you get to E.
Yep.
And then I'll go.
Darksiders 2, Deadlight, Dead Island Definitive Edition, Dead Rising 3, Devil May Cry, Dig Dug.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
They've got Dirt 4 on here. Devil May Cry Definitive Edition, Double Dragon Neon.
So that Devil May Cry, that is the DMC Definitive Edition.
Yes.
Okay.
DMC Definitive, yes. And then Dungeons and Dragons, that ends my D's.
Okay. C's, Capcom Arcade Cabinet, all in one. Castle Storm. Catherine, which is made by Atlas. It's the same development team that made Persona. And it's that puzzle game.
Yeah.
Where it's a puzzle game dating sim, essentially. Really interesting, different game. That game is very entertaining to play. Like, that is something that one night when we get our stream all up and going, I'm going to bring that game over and we're going to, like, do some shots and we're going to play that game and we're going to be like, what are we playing?
Going on here?
Cell Damage HD. That is that cartoony Twisted Metal type game that came out for Xbox and GameCube. Choplifter HD, Command & Conquer, Red Alert 3, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Make some crazy money. Well, you can be paying some crazy money for this PS now.
Yeah.
Going into D, Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Dark Souls. Darksiders War Mastered Edition.
By the way, since you said Darksiders, they just released an 11-minute video of Darksiders 3.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Darksiders War Mastered Edition. Darksiders 2, both the PS3 version and the Definitive Edition on PS4 on here. Dead Island Definitive Edition. Dead Island Retro Revenge and Dead Island Apocalypse. Dead or Alive 5, original and ultimate. Ooh. Dead Rising 2. Dead Space 3. Going down here, Deus Ex Human Revolution. Devil May Cry HD Collection, the first 3. Devil May Cry 4. The Blob 2. I actually own the original The Blob on the Wii. It's pretty interesting.
I forgot to mention Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
Dirt Rally. Dirt Showdown. Dirt 3. Disgaea 5. Dishonored.
Ooh.
Divinity Original Sin. Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp. Those old adventure games. Dynasty Warrior 7, 8, and Strike Force. I also saw they've got maybe some of the expansions on there as well. Earth Defense Force. Have you ever played those games?
Yeah.
Okay. They got 2025 and Insect Armageddon, and that ends my D's.
Go ahead and go to H.
Okay, so E to H.
Yeah.
Eat Lead: The Return of Matt Hazard.
Yeah.
Echo Chrome, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
On my list.
Yeah. You have Entwined. Do you remember that PS4 game?
I do.
Yeah, that cool little one that like you use the sticks. And, Eternal Sonata. That was that RPG music game on the on the PS3. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Do you remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from PS4. That's on here. Evolve. That's that first-person shooter game.
It is. Where you can be the the beast or the
F1 2010 to 2016. F1 racing.
I got F1 2015. Only that one.
Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. Farming Simulator. Farming Simulator 15, Farming Simulator 17.
Got 15 on here.
Fat Princess Adventures.
Yeah.
Fear, but only the campaign mode.
Oh, really?
Final Fight, Double Impact. Firefighters, the simulation. Flower, that was that one kind of like weird game.
Right, where you bring the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Flustercluck. Oh man,
that was worth it.
and of course, Forestry 2017, the simulation. It's when you're cutting down trees.
Oh my god.
Frogger Returns, Galaga Legions DX, GeForce. Now, are you ready for this one?
Go.
God of War HD, God of War 2 HD, God of War 3 and 3 Remastered, God of War Chains of Olympus, God of War Ghost Sparta, and God of War Ascension.
Wow.
Pretty much all of them except for the newest one.
Yeah.
So
that's a good library there.
Like, well, I mean, the thing is that especially if you're like, oh, I'm thinking about getting a PS4 to play the new one, but I haven't played any of the other ones. Well, if you get a trial or if you just get 1 month of this.
Right, because they're super quick to play through.
Yeah, I mean, the newest one isn't. It's
right.
not super quick, but these older ones, yeah, sure. Goosebumps, the game.
Yeah.
Gravity Rush Remastered.
Ooh, Gravity Rush wasn't a bad game.
Grid 2. Grim Fandango Remastered.
I got Grim.
Guacamelee. I cannot.
This is on here too. Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition.
Okay, so this is just the regular Guacamelee. I have it on the Vita, and I want to say that I have it cross-buy with Vita and PS4. Cannot praise that game enough. That game is so much fun, and it has got so much flair and flavor of that Hispanic lucha stuff. It's just a labor of love. And then the last one that I'll do for G is it's a fighting game of Guilty Gear. It's one of the Guilty Gears.
All right. So I'm starting for me, right?
Yeah.
We already mentioned Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yes, Oblivion.
And then I have Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, that's on there? ESO's on there?
Yep, but only ESO, none of the expansions.
Okay.
Then I've got Fable Anniversary, Fable 2, Fable 3, Fallout 3, Fallout 4.
Yes, they added Fallout 4.
They added Fallout 4 during
the E3
conference. And I believe Oblivion during that conference as well.
I think so, yeah.
Then I've got Fusion Frenzy. That was the
Xbox, original Xbox. That kind of party game type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Galaga Legions DX.
Yeah, same game here.
Yeah. And then, here's where it gets good. Gears of War. Gears of War 2. Gears of War 3. Gears of War 4. Gears of War Judgment. Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
That's the remaster of the first
Basically every version.
Yep.
And then you've got the Grid 2, Guacamelee. Now I'm dropping to my H's. I'll go to the end of the K's. Halo 5, Guardians. Halo, Spartan Assault. Halo Wars 2. Homefront. Injustice. Gods Among Us. That's a pretty good game. Joe Danger, Special Edition. Joe Danger 2, the movie. Cool. Jump Jacks Rex. Night Squad. And the rest of them. KYUB, I don't know what that is. It's not off the top of my head. But that ends my case.
Okay, so I'll take over. I was going through my H's, right?
Yes.
Here we go. So we have Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life Special Edition from the PS2. Heavy Fire, Afghanistan and Shattered Spear. Heavy Rain.
Ooh.
Helldivers. Hitman Blood Money, Hitman Contracts, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. So the whole trilogy of games that were on the PS2 those are the HD versions they brought it to the PS3. Homefront and Homefront The Revolution. Hot Shots Golf World International. Hot Shots Tennis. Eco. Infamous 2 Festival Blood. So the first two games and then this kind of the standalone expansion,
right,
for 2. Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. Journey, that game we talked about last week. Just Cause 2. Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. Katamari Forever. Killzone 2, Killzone 3, Killzone Shadows Fall.
Ooh, all of them.
All 4. Knack. That ends my K's.
Keep going to...
Okay, so...
End of the M's, because I've got a big, huge section of M's.
Legend of K Anniversary for PS4. Ooh. Lego Batman the video game. Lego Batman 2, Lego Batman 3, Lego Harry Potter 1 through 4, and 5 through 7. Damn. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego the movie.
Wow. All I have is Lego Batman.
And actually, I saw that this list isn't complete because I want to say when I was on there the other day, they have the Lego Star Wars on there too.
Oh, wow.
But where was I at? Lone Survivor, Loco Roco, Lords of the Fallen, Lost Planet, Extreme Edition, Lost Planet 2, and Lost Planet 3. So all 3 of those. Going to the... Did you say stop at the M's? Or
go through the M's.
Go through the M's. Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 1 for me.
Matt Hazard, Bloodbath and Beyond. Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10. Metal Slug 1, 2, and 3. Mighty Number 9, Mirror's Edge, Mortal Kombat Complete Edition. MotoGP, Motorcycle Club, MotorStorm, MX versus ATV, bunch of them. NBA 2K14 and 16. NBA Jam on Fire Edition. I did not see that on there.
Oh.
But I would have played it if that were not. So I'm sorry. I went to the. I started on the end. So I'll complete my ends and get back to you. Nidhogg. Have you ever played that?
No.
Nidhogg. Ni no Kuni.
Ooh.
Yeah. Nights into Dreams. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge with Online Pass. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2.
And I have Ninja Gaiden? Ninja Gaiden Black.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
All right, you go ahead and go.
All right, so going from the L's.
We're working our way through this, man.
Yeah. There's not really anything fantastic in the L's. We'll like Limbo.
I skipped over Limbo.
Yeah. So into the M's, Mad Max, Xbox One.
Oh, yeah. Mad Max is a great game. I got that on PS Plus.
And then you've got Mass Effect, which we already said, Massive Chalice. And then you've got Max, The Curse of the Brotherhood. Now, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the big ones. Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Boom.
Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Mega Man 9 and 10.
Damn.
Metal Slug XX. Metal Slug 3. Metro. Last Light Redux.
There you go.
MotoGP, MX versus ATV Reflex, N Plus, NBA 2K16 and 17, NBA Playground, Next Up Hero, Oddworld, New and Tasty. Then I'll just go through some of my O's here. Really no O's that are any good. So Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus, Pac-Man Museum, Payday 2. Here's one for me. Perfect Dark Zero.
There you go.
I love that game. Portals, Knights, Pro Evolution Soccer, and that's where I'll stop.
Okay, so I stopped after the ends, right?
Yeah.
So going into O, Oddworld Munch's Odyssey HD, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD.
So you noticing how each one is getting either one or the they get one or they get all the others.
Right. Yeah. Okage Shadow King on PS2. That's a very interesting Sony exclusive RPG.
Yes.
If you ever get a chance to check that out. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus.
That's the same one I had.
Payday the Heist, Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition. Now we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pixel Junk games. And then we have Professional Farmer 2017. All in, man. All in. Hubert rebooted. Rage.
Ooh.
We have Ratatouille. Then we have Ratchet and Clank, all for one. Ratchet and Clank, Full Frontal Assault. Ratchet and Clank, Future, Quest for Booty. Ratchet and Clank, Future, A Crack in Time. Ratchet and Clank, Into the Nexus. And then you have Record of Agarist War and Agarist War 2. Those are tactical RPGs. Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Red Faction Armageddon, Red Faction Guerrilla. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, and Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles HD. Resogun. That's a really good shooter. That was like one of the original PS Plus games.
I still have it. I love that game. I played the crap out of it.
Yeah. Retro City Rampage. And then you have Rocket Knight. You remember Rocket Knight?
I do not.
On the Sega Genesis?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. Rogue Galaxy. This is a big game. This level 5 RPG, action RPG as a PS2 exclusive. First-person shooter, Rogue Warrior. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
R-type dimensions. I'll go through the S's and then I'll get to the T's and stops.
All right.
Saints Row 2, Saints Row Out of Hell, which is the
I have that one.
Then you have Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 4 Reelected.
Yeah, Saints Row.
Sam and Max, it's like a bunch of those like episodes.
Yeah, I've got 2 of those.
Samurai Showdown.
I got Samurai Showdown 2.
Shadow of the Colossus, the PS3
version.
Then you have Sherlock Holmes, Crime and Punishment. Then you have Siren. That's that survival horror PS2 game.
Right.
Siren Blood Curse episode 1 through 12. Oh, damn. Slender Man, the Slender Games. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Sniper Elite V2, Sniper Elite 3, Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. So many snipers. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing.
That's a good one.
Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic CD, Sonic Generations, Sonic the Fighters, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1 and 2, Sonic Unleashed.
It's funny, you have all those. I have Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD.
Yeah.
And that's it for Sonic for the Xbox.
That's funny. Strider, that's that PS4, yeah.
I have that one.
Super Hang-On. Oh Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. As if that could be any longer of a game, name for a game. Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition.
Same here.
And then that's where I'll stop because I'm at the T's.
Okay, so
Xbox Game Pass. What do you got?
Where did I stop at? O's? I finished the O's.
Yeah, I think you're getting ready to go.
No, I did P's, so I'm on R's.
Okay.
So, Recore. Definitive Edition.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to play that.
Yeah, that's the that was the Xbox exclusive.
Yep. Resident Evil.
That's the
Xbox One version of Resident Evil.
That's the HD re-release?
No, just says Resident Evil.
So it's the HD re-release.
It has to be the HD, but then Resident Evil 0.
Yep.
And then Resident Evil 6.
Yep.
Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Yep. I remember seeing that on there.
Rhyme.
Oh, yeah.
That was another Xbox exclusive. Right? Or Rim. I'm sorry. R-I-M-E.
Rhyme.
Rhyme, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Riptide Renegade GP. And then Saints Row, Get Out of Hell, Saints Row 4, already said those. Sam and Max, got those. Samurai Showdown. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that new Xbox game. So now, just so that way we can just make it clear, they are really striving to make all of the new first-party games
from Xbox.
Yeah, from Xbox, day one on a Xbox
Yes.
Game Pass going forward. So
Yep.
if you subscribe to it, you'll get to play all the brand new games day one.
Yep. And then I've got the Sega Vintage Collections, Alex Kidd and Company, Golden Axe, Monster
Beast.
World, Streets of Rage.
Oh, cool.
That's all they have on there. Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic CD, already said this. Soul Calibur 1, Soul Calibur 2 HD. Spelunky. State of Decay. State of Decay 2. Strider's on here as well. Super Mega Baseball, extra innings. Street Fighter, we already said that one. Now I'll just jump in. Super Time Force. Now I'll jump into the T's. Tecmo Bowl, Throwback. Tekken Tag Tournament. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. The Division is on there. That's a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of these I don't know. Toy Soldiers. Toy Soldiers Cold War. Virtual Fighter 5 Final Showdown. Man, I don't have a whole lot. I'm going to finish mine out.
Okay.
Warhammer. Vermilion Tide 2. Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. World of Van Helsing Death Trap. WWE 2K16. XCOM Any Within. Zoo Tycoon. And Zombie Army Trilogy. That ends all of my games for the Game Pass.
Well, okay, so I have the T's, and I'll continue on for the PlayStation here. A Tearaway Unfolded. It's the PS4 remaster or up-res from the Vita game. Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Terraria, that's that PS4. It's like that side-scroller Minecraft type game. House of the Dead 3, House of the Dead Overkill, House of the Dead 4, King of Fighters 94, King of Fighters 18.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
That's a big title there.
And I will say that since being on there, they do have the DLC as well. Bless you.
Thank you.
They do have the DLC as well. Sims 3, the Sly Cooper Collection. All 3 games made by Sucker Punch. The Walking Dead complete first season.
Huh.
Yeah. Going in. Tomb Raider Underworld for PS3. Still going. Twisted Metal from PS3. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Umbrella Corps.
Ooh.
Uncharted. Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3.
Of course.
Until Dawn. That's that action adventure type. I would say action. It's more of the adventure type game.
Yeah, more adventure.
Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter 5, Wakeboarding HD, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine, Warhawk, Way of the Samurai 3, Wet, White Knight Chronicles International Edition, Wild Arms 3, PS2 RPG, WWE 2K16, XCOM Enemy Within, 13 was that PS2 like action adventure game. Yakuza 4, Yakuza 5. And that's going to kind of bring it in because there's like Zombie Tycoon 2, Zombie Vikings. So, that long, drawn out, going through of so many games, which one do you think has a better library? Because it's hard, actually. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
It's a lot harder than I thought it would be, too. But I would say that the categories rival each other very well.
They do.
They have a lot, almost all of the big hits.
Yep.
I would say that and this is only because of the knowledge that I know coming forward with Xbox. I would say Xbox has the best because $10 a month, you know that any Xbox exclusive is going to be on there day one.
Yep.
So that's hard to argue. They have a great library. PlayStation had a pretty good library, but I still think that Xbox library is a little better.
So Xbox is cheaper by $10 a month.
Yes.
So that's a big thing. Okay.
Especially for budget gamers.
Exactly, and also the Xbox, the GamePass, like you download them. You can download them. You don't have to have the internet.
Yeah.
You can pre-download them and go, I want to play this and this and this, and then take your Xbox to your grandma's where you don't have internet because she lives out in the country.
Yeah.
And then you can play through Tomb Raider, or you can play through Halo 5, or you can play through whatever. Anything that doesn't require an online connection really to get on there and enjoy. PlayStation Now, you can't do that yet. Supposedly, rumor and innuendo says that's coming in September.
Right.
But only for PS4 games right now. And also for some of those, like I said, The Last of Us and the Uncharted games, those are the PS3 versions of those.
Right.
They haven't put up the PS4 versions of those, which I feel they should replace those with the PS4 versions.
They should.
Because they are the ultimate versions of those games to play.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with those ones. If you have a PS3 and you're not playing those games, shame on you, number one. And number two, they're so freaking cheap on the PS3.
Right.
And they're perfectly enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with those games on the PS3. But if you're playing on the PS4 with PlayStation Now, there's no reason not. And they're already out there. You already have you already have the HD versions of both of those for that system. There's no reason why would you emulate PS3 on your thing when you can just, it's slightly, it's better res, it's 60 frames. But again, it's like, I don't know how well my stuff was performing over the internet when I tried it out, but it wasn't like, it felt like I was playing the game. Like,
right.
I didn't, I'm sitting on the couch, or I'm sitting on like in my recliner in the living room where I am hardwired, to make sure I have a good internet connection. And I'm playing games, and it was working just fine. It takes a little while to load the game.
Right.
But once you're in there, and there is no input lag. It was so weird. I was expecting input lag, and there was none. Absolutely none. It's them saying that streaming is the future. I believe it. I would definitely say that if you're if you're someone who has a PS4 and you have any interest in some of these games that are on that list, do the free trial and see how it works.
Yes.
But remember to cancel it. Don't be like me and forget to cancel it.
You might as well play some of the games you're not going to buy.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Like, when I go out, like, I've been curious to play an NBA game for the last 10 years. And I got to play, and I can't play it.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it. I literally cannot play it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like even though I look at and it tells me what to do, I can't do it. And I literally almost fouled myself out of a game because I'm trying to steal the ball, but the button that I'm pressing is intentional fouling. And then to shoot, you have to shoot using the stick.
Yeah.
Where you have to like move it, and then it charges up a meter, and you have to let go of it. It is so. I'm like 1998 basketball game trying to play a game in 2018
where it has the percentages already worked in for you and how many times they're going to hit the 3-pointer. Yeah.
Dude, like I'm like I press a button to shoot a ball, and it's like I'm like and like here I am, I'm trying to like I want to dunk, let me in, and it's like, no, I'm gonna steal the ball and go down here, and like 2 minutes into the first quarter, I'm down 10-0, and I'm supposed to be like this badass ultra like. The story mode for 2K16 had me laughing. Yeah, because first of all, I make me.
Right.
So I'm a white dude. Okay. Again, in the story mode, well, you're from the streets, man. You're just from Brooklyn or from wherever. And like, I'm clearly the adopted kid. Okay, I'm trying to find the nicest way to say this, but they have this set up story mode for your character, right?
Right.
And obviously, they target a certain demographic. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that made me just like scratching my head is that like, so you have like only one voice that you can have,
right?
And then it has cutscenes. It is a full blown directed story from Spike Lee, and it goes through.
That's kind of cool though.
And your name is they call you the frequency, so they call you Freak.
I can't.
But anyway, but with that, I was able to play that. Would I go out and buy Farming Simulator? No.
Hell no.
But have I been curious to see? Because I've watched gameplay of it and go, that'd be something like for me to sit down with for 2 hours and just mind-numbingly just relax and play something.
Right.
It's the same thing with those wrestling games. I sat down for 2 hours a day. After I got up, went to the grocery store, got to sit down. I had a couple hours before I went to my doctor's office. Played my wrestling game. Played a couple months. Played a few matches. Had some fun.
I had a guy that I was in the military with, and he was very much into truck driving simulator.
Yeah.
Where you would drive across the country in a truck, and you actually logged the real hours of driving.
Oh, my God.
So if you were driving a 32-hour trip, you actually had to log close to that amount of time. I think you could change it, but he would do that.
Euro truck simulation.
Yeah, he loved it. And I was like, dude, you're just driving on the streets of America. Like,
and then you have to pull off and you have to like go to way stations.
Yeah.
And I've watched people stream that and I'm just like,
why?
Well, and then I'm there watching him for 20 minutes going, why am I watching this guy for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
But no, dude, games are for everybody. And and there's all kinds of games, you know. It's like talking to Joe, a guy that we work with. One of the things he asked me about getting a PS4, he goes, are there any good like motocross games? Because I used to love playing motocross games. Because but I haven't liked any. I'm like, well, there's some out there. And just like I said, there's a bunch of them on there. So get a subscription or get a trial. Try some of them out.
I'm sure you could pick them up pretty easy at your local replay. Or...
And you know what? There's actually a Trials Fusion. It's free on Plus, and he got that because he got Plus for whatever reason. And I say that because I don't know what he's going to be playing, but he got that for free on Plus.
Can you imagine him playing like Call of Duty or?
No, I can't. But he does want to. He said he does want to play Borderlands with like his cousin or something. So he wants to try and pick that up.
That's a good game.
But my opinion, if you don't own any of these and you're or if you own both, and you want to subscribe to one of them, I would say get Game Pass.
Yes.
As much as like I was actually more impressed with that listen for PS Now than what
I was too.
Because even though I've actually went through them to actually sit there and read them and go, oh, they've got this, oh, they've got that, but I think $20 is a little too much.
Yep. I think when you've got the Xbox at $10 and they're they're download.
Yeah, exactly. And then
it's hard to.
I mean, not only that, but like their download, but then also when you're thinking of, like this isn't Game Pass, but their reverse compatibility.
Yep.
A lot of those games are reverse compatibility. Just like last week we had Jason on from the UK. He said he played Mass Effect Trilogy on an Xbox One through backwards compatibility.
Yep.
And he goes, that's the way he played it. Cool. That's awesome. And that is one of the, like, if someone is saying, I haven't owned a game system in a long time and I want to buy one, I don't.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah. Get the Xbox One S. Right now, you and me saw one. It was like for $200 and something, $280.
For the 2 terabyte.
For 2 terabyte.
Was 100. It was $289.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you can even like around Black Friday, you can get like $189, $190 for a 500 gigabyte. And I mean, it all depends. And you can even do external hard drives too. I mean, you can plug them in with the USB. I mean, it all depends on how much you think you need. You can always expand later if you think you need more. But I mean, if you're telling me I just want to play some games, I want to have some fun,
that's the way to go,
dude. Because that unlocks like 2 really big libraries for you, Xbox One and 360.
Yep.
And then they're starting to put in OG Xbox in there too.
And they don't have to do that.
No.
You're talking how long ago was the OG Xbox?
2002.
So yeah.
2001 it came out. Yeah, 2001.
So we've got that's a while.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not a lot of them out yet, but they're still trying to put more out. They just put the Star Wars games up there. So I mean, I would rather play the old school Battlefront 2 than I would the new one.
Right.
How cool would that be for them to be able to get that up, like put up some dedicated servers for old school Battlefront to play that?
I'd play it. I'd play the crap out of the old Battlefront 2. Good Lord, I'd put some hours in that.
And I mean, they're like $10 to purchase on there. If you can't find a copy of one.
Yeah, it depends on which. If you're on Xbox, was the Xbox one like $20 forever?
What?
You talking about?
Yeah, to buy the games digitally, they're about.
Yeah, I'm saying, but to buy them
forever, like an actual digital copy.
No, hard copy.
Hard copy for OG Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah, about $20.
That's what I said.
But it's gone down. Like it was like 50 or 40.
I say it was up there for a long time.
But I mean, still, so you're telling me that if you don't care, dude, they're like $10 a game.
Yeah.
To just own them, because when you put those discs in there, it's not playing them to the disc; it just downloads them.
Right.
And I wish so much that we could do that with the PS4.
Yes.
If we have old PS3 games or PS2 games. Or even PS1 games. Put FF7 in there. Guess what? Downloads. PS1 Classic.
Yep.
God, I wish I could do that. Maybe in the next one. But I hope that Sony's paying attention to that. Because now, okay, so here's something else. Okay, so we both agree that Xbox Game Pass takes it.
Yes.
Okay, so there, stamp. We take it. Now, however, there is a poll up on our Twitter. On Twitter, on the Game Addicts Play. I put the poll up. I pinned it up there. Go vote. You have 1 week from hearing this episode. Go vote. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer PS Now or Xbox Game Pass? Let us know.
Yeah. Especially listen to this podcast all the way through.
Oh my gosh!
If you made it this far, we went through the whole list.
Yeah, man. There's definitely. I mean, I don't think that it's wrong to go with the PS Now if that's what you've got.
I just think it's too expensive.
I think it is a little too expensive, but especially right now where you can get the discount.
You're right.
For the first month it's $10.
I mean, really, paying for the whole year at one point for $100.
It's not bad.
That is technically cheaper.
Yeah.
Than Game Pass, but
that's $100 going down, and then
you got to do $100 right now.
Yeah.
And then you're locked in for a year.
Yeah.
What if they don't do anything?
Well, they're going to update it, but the idea
what if they don't update much of the library? Maybe 4 or 5 games. So you've wasted $100 at the beginning of the year, or whenever your purchase is, and they only add.
Well, that's where you weigh off what we've told you with the big library. How many of these games you want to play? How many of it is it worth it to get this for $100? Weigh your options, because then, if you have access to the older consoles, maybe this won't be a money saver for you. But if you don't have access to PS2, PS3, and you want to play some of these games that were older, go look at the list yourself, and especially on the PS3, or I'm sorry, on the PS Now, and look and see what systems that they're, because some of those games, as I said, are the PS3 versions.
Yeah.
And so, go and see which one of those you want to play and make that decision for yourself. But
still, I think Xbox gets it.
Same. I mean, especially with the download capability of that.
Yep.
But it's sort of the future. It's sort of the future.
And like we said, moving forward, if you have gold and you have the Game Pass, you're going to be able to play the new Forza Horizon game.
Yep. Online.
Day one.
Yep.
For $10 that month.
Yep.
For the whole time. So, I mean, that's a game that I would like to check out, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not buying an Xbox for it.
Right.
They have not yet produced a game that I'm like, I have to buy an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
When a game comes out where it's like, okay, all right, time to make the purchase, I'll make a purchase.
Well, I mean, the only it's got some pluses going for it for sure. I feel like the Xbox is the cheap gamers system to get.
Fable is, if they create a new Fable, that's going to be one that I want to be like,
if they can take what worked for Breath of the Wild and make that for Fable?
Shit. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I would buy an Xbox for a Fable game because I loved all of the Fable games.
Well, because then, so finally, if you finally get your foot wet and you dip your toe in there and finally get that Xbox, think about then it's like, well, I don't even have
to buy anything.
Well, because then look at your your current game collection.
Yeah.
And a lot of those games are reverse compatible.
Yep.
So you have that one system that you don't even have to plug in your 360 anymore. You can just sit that on the shelf and maybe use it for backup. Maybe if you sell your Xbox One at one point, you'll still need that old system.
And if I make the purchase, I will make the 4K.
Sure.
I will go X. If
Absolutely.
I'm going X.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, there'll be a few games where I'm like, I want to pick that up. Obviously, I'd pick up a Forza game because, racing games.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you're going to buy, if you end up buying one, you might as well make it worth it, where you pick up a few games for it.
Yeah.
And you actually spend some time with the console.
And at this time, Forza's cheaper.
Sure.
A lot of these games are cheaper that I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll purchase that. Also buying the Rise of the Tomb Raider. Finally, because I still don't think that game is worth $32 to $42.
Well, this long after it's been released, I don't think it should be either.
I mean, I want to play it bad, but I'm just like, I can't.
I would loan you mine, but you don't have an Xbox One. I bought it for that system. But before we move on, I have a few news stories that I want to touch on before we leave. But I saw something where they were talking about, because we talking about all these streaming services and all this stuff. And of course, Xbox is saying that they are working on their own equivalent to PS Now. Whether or not it's going to be able bundled in with Game Pass, whether or not, and then of course EA has their EA access, and then Ubisoft is looking at something for them, which you would probably have to purchase separately.
It's the future, folks.
It's coming, but there's like rumors about the new Xbox. Project Scarlet.
Yeah, I think it was Scarlet is what they're code naming it around.
Project Scarlet. And the rumor is biggest grain of salt you could ever have right now. So
no disk drive.
Yes. That's the rumor. No disk drive.
But so moving forward with that being said, so we know that they're heading in that direction. That's where they tried to go before. Well, no shared games. So that was kind of like them testing the waters. But here's the thing. If they take out that disk drive hardware, that saves them a lot of stuff.
Okay. So the same article that I read had a quote from one of the higher-ups at Sony. And he was asked about that. And he believes that the physical discs will be around for another generation. He says at least one more generation as a stopgap in between. He goes, we are making strides to this new future of gaming with our PlayStation Now service through streaming, and he goes, the internet infrastructure is increasing by the day, in our in our country. So at one point, yes, we will be there, but he doesn't believe that that's going to be this next generation's like where you're going to be like launching a new console without a disk drive.
Right.
I feel if I were Microsoft or I were Sony,
you release one of each.
Yes. Yep. Whether or not that's right out of the gate, or maybe like how they did their little 0.5 versions of the console or whatever.
Right.
Where you have that was loud.
Was it that little clip, man? That's far away.
That went halfway up the thing.
That's crazy how far away it is.
Messing with your mic clips.
Well, that's because I'm gonna take this with me.
Where are you going?
I'm going somewhere.
Are you really?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness. He's actually, instead of taking a break, oh my gosh, he's going. It reaches all the way to the bathroom.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh. This is a new one for us.
Well, I probably shouldn't do that. We'll put it down. Now that I think about it,
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious, though.
No, we don't need to do that to the listeners.
What I was going to say, though, is that, release your first one, your PS5, your Xbox forever, whatever it's going to be called. Oh my gosh, dude, it's the 4th Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's going to be the Xbox Zero. See that on there.
Xbox Zero? Is it going to be the Xbox Zero? You know what I would do? Oh my god. Oh, praise our listeners for listening this far into the podcast. For Mike is now doing his business.
Mike has a small bladder.
Okay, so you're not taking a deuce?
No, I am.
Because you're over here ripping ass, and then I saw your face like go, whoop. It's the same face that my wife sometimes gives me because she has IBS. And she'll just be sitting there, you mind her own business, all of a sudden, whoop, gotta go. Oh, okay. But I feel like you launch these new consoles, PS5, Xbox Forever. I would call it Xbox Forever, honestly. As goofy as that sounds, can you imagine having the name Xbox with either the word just forever or do that little infinite symbol? Because this is the console, because it plays Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the new Xbox Forever games. But launch those consoles, have disk drives, and then when you go to do your, Xbox Forever S, PS4, PS5 Pro, halfway through the console cycle, that's when you start, okay, guys, you can upgrade. But we've got 2 versions of the upgrade, guys. We've got one for all you physical guys, and now we've got one without the disk drive. And in place of that disk drive, you're getting more hard drive space. And, make them the same price if it's possible. Because you don't want giving the people the illusion of paying more for less, really, right? Even though you get more memory, you want it to be so if you're gonna launch it for $400 or whatever, you want the I download my games anyway, so I'll just get that. And by the end of that generation, you've already, by the time we're 40 years old, Mike, by the time we're 40, now we're into a generation of gaming where we have no physical games. And it's a dark...
That's a very, very sad place.
That is a very dark and dreary place. I wish we were on stream right now.
I don't. I'm very happy that we're not on stream right now.
Oh, man. So Nintendo Switches are cracking.
Yes, I saw that article. You showed me that article.
Yeah, and I showed you the picture.
Yeah, I have not had that, but I have not played, I played Breath for 8 hours one day, and I didn't have that issue.
Of course, we also had the issue with Switch's warping.
Yes.
So I can definitely see there being a hardware revision down the line. However, they've already altered the Switch to stop hackers. Remember how people were hacking the Switch?
Yes, I do remember that.
Apparently, some people have reported that updates have updated its Switch hardware, so it's not as easy for hackers to access. In this case, it made slight changes to the Tegra chip that is used within the system, which acted as the tool that some savvy programmers could use to create new homebrew programs, such as classic emulators. And as many know, NVIDIA had an oopsie with with 10 years worth of SoCs, which suffered an unpatchable critical bootloader flaw that allowed arbitrary code to be run in recovery mode at boot, forfeiting any security on the system. This flaw affected the entire Tegra line as its predecessors going back 10 years.
Oh, wow.
The flaw was found in the Switch by fail overflow and was reported last year. This flaw led into a boom in homebrew progress and development, but of course allowed for malware, piracy groups to create and market piracy mod chips to load payloads at boot in recovery mode and hijack the system. And roughly 18 million Switches are vulnerable to that flaw. And
Wow.
this has resulted in a large ban wave for some pirates and some bricked consoles from stupid people bridging the wrong pins and frying their motherboards to DRM'd piracy dongles with stolen community code and brick code in them. Because why not?
It makes me scared that you can get the bomb.
My gosh. I never even thought of that.
That's the problem.
Do you remember when the U.S. government was using like a bunch of PS3s as like a supercomputer?
No, I don't remember that.
The U.S. government bought like hundreds of PS3s and could link them together to make a supercomputer because it was cheaper to do that than to buy an actual supercomputer. Because back then you could run Linux on PS3s, and they utilized a cell processor,
right?
Which was a Sony creation, which actually hindered the development of a lot of games back in the day, which is why, the games ran better on the 360 because it was DirectX,
right?
And then that was cell processing. That's a whole other podcast. But the U.S. government was using those consoles as a supercomputer until the PS3 put out a patch, basically making it where you couldn't put Linux on there anymore.
Huh.
And I remember when the PS2 came out, people were like freaking out because it was so powerful that could actually work as a computer to launch missiles. Again, custom OS, but
right. People much smarter than us.
So yeah, so apparently the new Switches that are rolling off the line have slight changes to the chip to where you can't do that anymore. Probably made by both Nintendo and Nvidia at this point.
Right.
And I have no doubt that just like Nintendo gets all freaking wacky with their handheld line coming out with new models, how many versions of the freaking 3DS have there been?
Yeah.
There's been the 3DS, the 3DS XL, the 2DS, the 2DS XL. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. The
new 3DS and new 3DS XL and the new 2DS XL.
Yep.
Are we going to get a new Nintendo Switch XL? A new Nintendo Switch L, which is a smaller version.
Something. Who knows?
Medium-sized Switch.
They're all about the revisions.
Buddy, Nintendo's as bad as Apple in some cases. Like, as far as how many revisions. Like,
yeah.
They go crazy with their damn handhelds. Like, ever since the probably, like, well, because, I mean, just think about how many different Game Boys there were. There was Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, and then Game Boy Light, which we never saw over here, but then Game Boy Color, and then all the different color variations of the damn Game Boy Color. And then you had Game Boy Advance SP, Game Boy Micro, DS. And then you have DS Lite, and then you have DSi, and then DSi XL.
You missed the SP.
I said SP.
Oh, I didn't hear the SP.
Yeah. I said Game Boy Advance, SP, and Micro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just going crazy. So yeah, hopefully your Nintendo Switch doesn't crack. But what I do hope doesn't crack are these parents from Australia. I kind of read some of this article to you. Basically, there's a school in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, that has been emailed its parents asking them to ban Fortnite in their homes. Said that, they're concerned about the game and how it impacts their children's lives. The primary concern seems to be with the messaging system, which, citing that it invites strangers into the lives of their parents and their children. The game does not allow for messaging to be turned off, so the boys are... I like how it just says boys, like no girls are playing Fortnite.
Right.
Are accessible to hundreds of online strangers. The game is played in teams of 4, so it can be quite addictive as the boys feel like they're letting their team down when they're not playing. The alleged email continues that Common Sense Media is a site I find really useful for checking ratings of TV shows, movies, and games. It is really difficult to keep ahead on our boys. Keep ahead of our boys in terms of technology, so it's important to be vigilant in this regard. Oh my gosh. So if this is true, according to the official ESRB ratings board, this is an action game which players build forts, gather resources, craft weapons, and battle hordes of monsters in a frenetic combat from a third-person perspective.
Fortnite is?
Yeah. Players use guns, swords, and grenades to fight skeleton-like monsters, husks, in ranged melee combat. Players can also defeat enemies by using various traps. Battles are highlighted by frequent gunfire explosions and cries of pain. So
But the funny thing about it is they don't mention the Royale portion at all.
Right.
That's the main game.
Right.
Which nobody plays the main game.
So Australia's always been sort of like uptight about their content of games and everything like that, okay? It's always been a little bit different there. Mike, do you think that a school should be trying to outlaw something at home?
No.
I don't think so either.
That is, they can strongly recommend that, that happens.
Do you think that they're in the right for at least letting parents know about what? Because how many parents don't keep track of video games and anything like that?
I can agree with them saying that because the younger generation, I'm wondering, since they're emailing the parents, how big of a problem this is in the school. Because I'm wondering if everybody's clicking on it and that's all they ever talk about. And
it's like yo-yos, it's like skateboards,
yep.
It's like magic cards, it's like Pokemon cards. Back in
our time,
back in our time, where it just it's like fidget spinners. You remember 2 years ago, everybody and their brother were at school with fidget spinners, and then they had to outlaw and ban them from all schools across the damn country.
I remember that they wanted to ban the yo-yo at school because people were using them as weapons.
Yeah. Hacky sacks got banned at my school after a while.
I never got banned at my school, and I played the shit out of some hacky sack at lunch.
Dude, we had a crew, man.
We did too. We had a set crew, and everybody ate their lunch at a specific speed,
just so we could go play hacky sack.
So everybody, its circle started out with the two guys that never ate lunch, and then it expanded to 8 by the end of lunch.
And then you end up tweaking your knee.
Well, they made us do it for a while. We were doing it in the atrium because they built a $4 million atrium at my school, and they were like, no. So we did it outside if it was nice, but most of the time we did it in the atrium, and the teachers were, "Oh, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt somebody.
You're gonna hurt yourself." I actually know people who have hurt they have injuries from with their knees and ligaments from going too crazy. I remember we were playing outside once, and it was PE, right? It was one of those things where you can do anything you want, and we asked if we can play hacky sack, and at first they were like, I don't know, and there was another teacher going, sure, maybe go in the locker room. So we were playing in the locker room, and there was a big area in our locker room where we could play, and he was just sitting there watching us for a while, and he goes, and then he's watching, and it kind of went too far. He goes, maybe we go outside, and so we went out back. There were outside of our locker room. Of course, they had a door to the outside. It was near, it was in the back of the school. So we went outside, and he was all like, hey, right here, And then he goes, as long as you guys, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. He goes, I'm trusting you guys. I'll come back check on you in a few minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. Just just as long as you guys are doing this, it's cool. So we were out there playing, and we ended up kicking the damn hacky sack on the damn roof.
Oh no!
So this one kid had to. He had to parkour his way up on top of the roof and get back down before the teacher came back out. Oh man, we had dudes looking down oh, you're clear, go.
Yeah.
Man, good old times. One last news story before we are out of here today has to do with The Last of Us. So.
Oh yeah, I saw this little tidbit of news.
Did you?
Maybe. Depends on what you say.
The Last of Us Part 2's Ellie will have a companion.
Yep.
But doesn't say who it is.
Yep.
And doesn't confirm Joel is around for that. Of course, from the demo we saw at E3, he is not mentioned by name. He's in the teaser trailer that was aired at PSX a while back.
The first teaser.
Yes. So he's there, and we all know Joel has done voice acting for the game. Troy Baker has done voice acting for Joel. He's in the game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt, because this story has to, the only reason why they're doing another one is to expand on the story of these two characters.
I'm wondering if it's Ellie and her little adventures outside the town that they're in, I don't remember the little town name.
Jackson. They're also in Wyoming. They're not in Missouri like I thought. When I was replaying through Last of Us on stream,
Wyoming.
they're in Wyoming.
Okay, so let's go from Wyoming, and it's her going out doing her missions, and then she starts her thing where I'm going to kill them all, thinking maybe that kills her love interest. Maybe this is just a shot in the dark. People, don't take us with a grain of salt, but she's going after and killing every single one of them, and Joel catches wind of. She's getting a little out of hand. He has to go out. And then he is her companion. Like, well, I guess if you're going to do this, I might as well come along with you and keep you out of trouble. I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm thinking the same thing where she starts off with another, NPC.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe halfway through the game, that's when Joel comes in. And then he finishes the ride with her. However that goes, whether or not how much the game of that in this story for these characters where they're at now, how much that relates to the first one, I don't know, but we'll see.
Here's my thing: what do you do at the end of this game? Just this. We're on the subject. I would. This is me. I'd kill Joel to make it that gut-wrenching feeling and sadness and what she does. Does she go into a blind rage like he did and just kill everyone? Instead of saving people, he essentially becomes the villain in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't want it to happen. I love his character, but how much of an impact in the game would that have?
It's going to be interesting, especially if you have the player kill Joel.
Yes,
kind of like where you don't actually fight Joel, but it's kind of set up where there's a moment in MGS3, Snake Eater, where you have the boss fight with the final boss, the boss. And you defeat her. And in order to finish the mission, you have to kill her. And the game will not continue. Like, it's going to cutscene, and then all of a sudden, the little cutscene bars go away. And then, like, you're just sitting there. And you have to hit the fire button. And it goes... And it goes... And the little cutscene bars come back. It takes a break from the cutscene. So that you have to do it.
So that
because that gives you that impact. That gives you that moment of you killed this person who meant so much to your character.
Yeah.
And then that makes it so much more worth it in that game for the revelation at the end after all that.
See, and I think that something like that should happen, but I think someone from the Fireflies survives Joel's onslaught or exit, as you will, whatever you want to call it, and tells her the truth, and she accidentally kills him. Like, she's become this badass, and she's just why, and the gun accidentally goes off.
And then it's like you have like the revelation of her mad enough to want to do it, but didn't do it, but did it on accident. And now she's freaking out because he's falling down and bleeding out.
Yep. And to have that impact on that character.
What do you want, Kat? We're trying to talk about The Last of Us.
Something I just think.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think one of those two characters, I don't want either one of them to die because the first one's so good.
Well, okay, so you think we talked about on the last episode a little bit. We gushed about how emotionally impactful moments are in that game.
Yes,
how there's so many moments of dread. Like that game is not a positive game. Like as far as like positive feelings, that game is riddled with just negativity. So
yes,
if you're gonna continue on in that world, from the gameplay trailer, from the trailer that showed the party, like the dance and everything. things seem to be in a little bit lighter of a mood. We're at home, so to get back to where we see her like playing, or I'm sorry, I'm not in the gameplay when she's killing people, when she's in the nitty gritty. You know, like that girl says, they should be like terrified of you because there's not many people who are in that room who are capable of doing what she's able to do and willing to do.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, people are like, yeah, this world, you know, like when you play through the game, through the first one, it just seems like everyone in that world is just used to this, but not everybody's willing to go to that level.
And once I think once Joel gets there and like officially is, I am this, he's been on both sides of the fence. So he's going to know, okay, this is where they're going to hit. So he might reinforce and bolster their defenses to a point where nobody ever comes anymore and people get laxed.
Well, there's that, but there's also like, think about the people who have lived in like these safe zones.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where they live. That's where they, you know, they suffer for their food rations, and you know they work, and they don't have to deal with the how terrifying it is out there in the unsafe, riddled streets of Pittsburgh. You know,
right?
Like if you're out there and you're surviving, yeah, you're going through some shit. But you know, like I said last week, like when you look at Sam and Henry's not letting Sam do anything. You know, they're not capable of what Joel is capable of, like, because Joel's been there. He's been out there. He's done this. He's killed people. He's survived. He knows how far he's willing to go, and that's as far as he needs to go. Like he'll go.
Right.
But for those two are like not there.
Right.
Like there's a point of surviving, but there's also the point of like Sam is so terrified, and Ellie's scared too. But think about how Ellie is in the beginning of the game and where she is near the end, and then where she is now in the second game, and that whole journey and how that shaped her.
Right.
So
she's become the badass.
Yeah, exactly. I'm super excited for that. Whenever that decides to come out.
When they announce that, it's going to be. We might call in that day. I probably will.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a 2019 release, 2020 release.
Right.
It's going to be on the PS4, so it's not going to be. It's going to be the song for the system. And I mean, we already have just an awesome masterpiece of an Uncharted game from these guys.
Right.
Like I did not think you could make. Did you smack the mic?
Yeah.
Well, don't do that.
Okay.
I did not think that you could make that much of an emotional roller coaster for that series, because the game really didn't start getting heavy until the third game, as far as heavy into your characters and like into the emotion.
Right.
But then to take that to like instant, like next level of storytelling, like to take not the same type of story, but take that same type of storytelling that they put in to Last of Us, bring that to the Uncharted world. That's what they did before.
Yeah.
And with the scenes, with the acting, with everything, it was like, man, that is like that level of good in the Uncharted. Like, you can't go wrong, because Uncharted's already a fun action game anyway. So, boom. I'm just so excited. We are 1 hour, 47 minutes into this podcast. I think we need to start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to get home and eat me some chicken enchilada soup.
Yeah. It's pretty late, so I don't know what I want to do for food.
Oh, yeah, crap.
Probably nothing.
Yeah, well.
Sleep. That's what I'm going to do for my food.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening all the way through the end of this episode. If you did, thank you so much. And if you're willing to go this far, maybe you're willing to go one step further, go follow us on all of our social media at Game Addicts Play. Of course, on Twitter, go vote in that poll. We got that poll. We're going to be trying to do a poll every week. So please go follow and you know, keep up with us on there. Of course, we're on Twitch. I stream games over on Twitch. Right now, I'm streaming The Last of Us and Final Fantasy VII over on Twitch at Game Addicts Play over there as well. And search our YouTube. We don't have our own custom YouTube URL, but you can help us do that by helping us get to 100 subscribers, however much it is. Our YouTube channel is there. It's got all of our backlog of episodes, both video content and audio content for podcasts. We did some video content there for a while. Going to be starting that again when we start streaming the show.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to upload those gameplay videos from Twitch over there to YouTube. Every Monday and Friday you're getting a new gameplay video from me from my streams, and plus you're getting the podcast every single Thursday. So nice little nice little nest egg we got over there on the YouTubes. And of course I'm going to be streaming possibly on Mixer on the Xbox One. I'm not sure about that because it's like my own personal account. I got to tie that in. If you want to go over there, I don't have anything set up for us for the podcast over there yet. I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure that out, the whole Mixer thing.
Yeah.
But definitely go check us out on Twitter and on Instagram, Game Addicts Play, Facebook as well. I post there. I post pretty regularly as far as trying to keep interaction with you guys. And of course, check out the podcast and all the great podcast services. We're everywhere, man. We're Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. Across the podcast deserts bare.
Man.
Hey, man. But if you guys are going everywhere, please do give us a download for all your road trips. And here are nice voices in your ears while you're traveling down that old dusty road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Until next time, I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
Game on, guys. Have a good one. See you later. Keep your eyes on the road.